Welcome everyone joining this workshop. We are live on YouTube now, and today we have Rina with us, who will be uh, talking about ornamental plants and flowering plants. So, very welcome, Rina. So, let's start, and if you can start with the introduction to our participants, and then can go to the workshop. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. This is Reena Sheth here, and I do really welcome you all on this World Environment Day today. It's really an honor to do this joint workshop with Affordable Organic, who have given me this platform, and I do really appreciate their efforts to go more green and spread more green in this on this earth. And we are really thankful to people like them who really sell good quality seeds and compost and fertilizers and everything at a very reasonable rates, and they can reach to more crowd, because at times people feel like it's very expensive to do gardening and maintain it and all. But no, affordable gardening organic have made it very easy for all the gardeners. I really thank you. I welcome all my friends on this workshop. And talking about myself, this is Reena. I'm a home gardener. Even I was one of you, a scared gardener before 5 years. But now I'm really confident with all my experiences, my experiments. And here today we are going to talk about all ornamental foliage and flowering plants. So shall we start with the workshop?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So, friends, normally when we go to a nursery or we think about plants, first thing is like, what kind of plant should I get? What kind of pot, soil, material, everything? It's a big question. But don't worry, it's very easy. Somewhere we have to start with. So, right from the selection of the plants, first see कि आपके यहाँ पे क्या ventilation है, how much of light is there, what kind of space you have, and accordingly start with smaller pots. That's what I would suggest. जब नर्सरी में जाते हैं, गो फॉर सम प्लांट्स लाइक जो हार्डी हो, लाइक जो यू फील के इजीली ग्रो हो सकते हैं. टॉक टू फ्यू पीपल बिफोर बाइंग द प्लांट्स एंड ऑल दैट, एंड गो फॉर स्मॉलर प्लांट्स, स्मॉलर पॉट्स. और जब नर्सरी से प्लांट्स को लाते हैं, द फर्स्ट थिंग आई वुड सजेस्ट इज नॉर्मली हम नर्सरी से लाते हैं, पॉट लाते हैं, सॉइल लाते हैं, प्लांट लाते हैं, दे आर इन टू ग्रो बैग्स एट दैट टाइम. सो रादर देन डूइंग ऑल दोज थिंग्स, जब भी आप कोई भी ऑर्नामेंटल या आप फ्लावरिंग प्लांट्स लाते हैं, दे आर वेरी डेलिकेट. बड़े बड़े ट्रीज बुशेस हम नहीं ला रहे, तो ऑर्नामेंटल एंड फ्लावरिंग प्लांट्स आर वेरी डेलिकेट. उनको लाइए like your own babies. You're getting them home. Give them a lot of love when they're coming. And जब ये आते हैं तो 2-3 days just keep them in the space where you are planning to grow them for future. तो आपका plant पहले let it get acquainted, and then you can think to repot in a proper pot. Now, what are ornamental plants? जब big plants and everything that we get outside, we get really fascinated. मुझे ये भी grow करना है, वो भी grow करना है, ये plants चाहिए, वो plants चाहिए. But then we are so scared कि वो छोटे pot में grow होगा कि नहीं होगा. See, most of the plants they grow, but the size and everything matters. When you grow them into ground, तो प्लांट का साइज वगैरह बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा हो जाता है, ऐसे इट ग्रोज टू फुल. बट व्हेन यू आर ग्रोइंग देम टू स्मॉल पॉट्स, दे will grow, they will sustain. It's just the size matters. It becomes dwarf. Like in these days, we get a lot of dwarf plants in the market also. So care and maintenance is very easy for them. On at your home also, you don't have to worry much about all these things really. And जब भी वो बड़े प्लांट्स को छोटे पॉट में ग्रो करते हैं आप, तभी उनका ध्यान यही रखना है कि उनको टेम्परेचर वो ही मिले जो उनका बेसिक नेचर है. वी हैव गूगल एंड एवरीथिंग ओवर हियर विद अस टुडे. वी ऑल आर वेरी टेक सेवी. सो वी कैन जस्ट गूगल सर्च कि उनका नेचुरल हैबिटेट क्या है ऑर्नामेंटल एंड फ्लावरिंग प्लांट्स का, जो हमने लाया है उसका नाम क्या है, उसका नेचर ऑफ सर्वाइवल क्या है. Just do little of homework and then get the plants, and then you can, like, grow them easily. It is very easy at that time when you don't know anything. You get it, you just put it somewhere. Lana tha, laya, shop tha, laga diya. It's not like that with the plants. Like, we don't do this with the maids also. Like, अगर maids भी हमें घर पे लाना है तो we see कि हमारे घर के माहौल में वो प्रॉपरली काम कर पाएंगे नहीं करेंगे क्या है. सो सेम इट्स विद द प्लांट, कि हमने जो प्लांट लाना है, विल दैट बी एबल टू ग्रो इन आवर प्लेस. हम वैसा एटलीस्ट थोड़ा लाइटनिंग या टेम्परेचर या एटमोसफियर उस हिसाब से उनको दे पाएंगे कि नहीं, बिकॉज दैट्स वेरी नेसेसरी ऐसे. So this is how you should go with your ornamental plants, like, and your flowering plants. Like, I'll show you few plants over here with me, which are like, they are ornamental. Like, I have these monster over here. I have micans. These are the plants which need a lot of humidity. अगर इनको humidity में between the bushes you keep them, then they survive more better. Like, I have one more variety over here. This is philocellum over here. These are all like, this neon over here. So these are such plants which need humidity to survive. If you put these plants into bright sun, what I have outside over here, like, with many other plants, they won't survive. They would die. They will get sunburn and they will eventually die. Like, I have one fill over here also. So these are such plants which need to be behind the bushes, between the bushes, where they can survive more. Then there are ornamental plants like these flowering plants. Like, I have almanda over here, I have 4 o'clock over here, I have China dolls over here. These are the plants which need proper sunlight to grow. Like, without sun, they won't grow nicely, they won't survive also. Like, I have baby sunrose over there in my pot over there. So all these plants, they need sunlight, good sunlight to grow. If they don't get sunlight, they won't flower also. Like, I have variegated canna lilies over here. Even that is a plant which needs proper sunlight to have flowers bloom on it. Now I have a pothose over here, which is again it needs humidity to survive. So such are the plants where, like, you need to see them how they can grow. Now this croton over here, it's thriving so nicely. See, it's so beautiful, and the foliage is also so beautiful. If there it won't get good sunlight, the spots, this dust won't come on that. This is golden dust croton. So each plant has its own requirement. Now this is coleus over here. It will not have this color. It will turn green. Like, if you can see few leaves over here, they are green. They are green over here. Why? It's not getting good sunlight. If it gets sunlight, it will have this shade. It is because of the stress. Now another croton over here, coleus over here, even that, it has this pattern just because it is getting good sunlight on it. So we have to see what kind of plants we can grow in which area. So these are the basic requirements. Now, when you get the plants, when you repot them, it needs a lot of love and care. It doesn't need a lot of maintenance. It needs a lot of care. But at the same time, there are few notorious plants also, which, like, they, if you take a lot of care of them, if you pamper them, then they die. So I'll show you one plant like that. This is fiddly fig. This plant is like, you just get it and you forget it. Sansevierias, varieties of Sansevierias. They are like, you get them and you forget them. If you pamper them a lot, you water them a lot, they'll die. So if you don't want your plant to die, at times you have to leave them alone. Leave them in nature and how they want to grow. So this is about some plants varieties that I'm talking about. Now, at times we see with the change in the weather, the change in the climate, many at times there are many pests on the plants. There are many kind of fungus on the plants and all that, and we get scared. Oh, my plant is dying. My plant is dying. No, it does not. It does not. Just if you fall sick, you don't die, right? So same way, if your plant has got some infection, it doesn't die. You have to just take care of it. You have to cure it, and that's it. At times we see aphids on our plants. Luckily I don't have any example to show right now. It's good. But then aphids, so we get normally we see aphids on our jasmine buds, and we see them on our hibiscus or rose buds. So what do we do? Because they cover the whole bud and they eat it. They start eating it. So in that case, the best remedy and first aid for that I'll say is take a sellotape, wrap it reverse on your fingers, put it on your fingers, and just start pasting on it and removing. So all the efforts they will get stuck on the tape, and you can get rid of it. Now that was the first remedy or a first aid that you gave. What else can you do for that? All the home gardeners, I would suggest, always when you start home gardening, few basic pesticides that you can keep prepared are, first is like rice water, fermented rice water. For that, cook the rice, unsalted rice. Take 2 spoons of cooked unsalted rice, put it into water for 12 to 15 days, and then strain it. Though it will smell very bad, trust me, but that fermented water is going to help you get rid of these kinds of pests. So just strain it and fill it in a bottle. You can use that for another 3 4 months. No issue, it won't get spoiled. So whenever you feel there's some infestations like aphids and mealybugs and all that, you can just spray fermented rice water over them, and the stickiness of that water will help you get rid of those aphids and mealybugs. Other option is using aloe vera water. Soak aloe vera pieces, or just put them into lukewarm water overnight, and next day you can strain it and you can spray it on your plants. That's also a very easy remedy. Otherwise, for your curly leaves, at times you see you have your leaves curling. That is because of another kind of insect which eats up your plant from inside. It is within the leaves, and because of its saliva, the leaves start curling, and all the nutrition, the insect is going to suck up all the nutritions. So it will curl up the leaves. For those curly leaves, you can use buttermilk. Take buttermilk, put it into a copper vessel for at least 4 to 5 days. Then you can again strain it, dilute, and spray it on your plant which has been infested with curly leaves. That is going to help you get rid of it. All these things you can use it at least once in a week till you feel that now there are no infestations. So it's good for you. And I believe in all organic because that is again something we uh, try to do to leave no carbon footprints on earth. I try my level best. So this is what I do in organic manner. Otherwise in market there are many chemical fertilizers, but try and avoid doing all these things. And if we talk about maintaining them and fertilizing them, we have a lot of fertilizer that we can make at home. Again, again I go for organic for my fertilizers also. The first major thing that I use, and I call it as my magic potion. We have a group of garden gurus. We have almost 150 200 members in that, and we all are trying to use organic magic potion over there. And we all soak onion peels, banana peels, cucumber, potato, ginger, and garlic. All these peels, we just soak them for 10 to 12 days, and on 15th or 16th day we strain, we dilute, and we fertilize to all our plants. And trust me, they like, all greenery that you've seen in my garden till now is just because of like all these organic things that I'm using, and it really works. It sounds something very weird, like like nahi, chemical fertilizers, jaldi, like people need things very fast. Don't go for fast things. Slow and steady wins the race over here also. So go for organic things, like and here affordable organic store is also already giving you all organic things like neem oil and all that. So rather use those things for your plants. Otherwise, you can use as a fertilizer, you can use neem cake, you can use cow dung fertilizer, you can use aloe vera water also. You can use water of your pulses, dal, rice, all those things also as a fertilizer. So these are few things that we need to take care for our organic and our flowering plants. Now, one more thing, like
Rinaji, we can take
yeah,
some questions.
yeah, sure,
Yeah, so all the participants and we are all awestruck by your looking at your beautiful garden,
thank
and at
you.
the same time, we are curious how you're maintaining such a garden. So we'll come to that in the workshop, but before that, we'll take some specific questions which are coming from the participants.
Sure.
So Rashmi is asking, what ornamental flowering plant should she can use for fencing?
For fencing, you can go for a few shrubs like China dolls. You can go for some ornamental different plants. Like there's a plant. There are botanical names, but then easy names I'll give you is yesterday, today, tomorrow. The flower, it has different color today. When it grows, it's very purple in shade, like dark purple. Then it moves to little violet, and then it turns to white. It looks very beautiful. You can go for such plants. You can go for a few vines like almanda. You can go for clematis and all. If you want to see, I'll show you different kinds of almanda that I have. Just a minute, so you can have a better idea of it. See this almanda over here. It looks so pretty. Sure. So you can go for such plants. This is China doll over here. So, and this is what I'm talking about yesterday, tomorrow, today, tomorrow. This kind of plant. You can go for different plants like this if you want to go for some ornamental. Otherwise, in regular Indian market, we have many of them.
So a question from just let me okay question from Priyanka. So her jade plant is dying every time she buys it from the nursery. She waters it moderately, but still it dies. So what she is doing wrong and what she can do right?
See, jade plant is a plant which again you should like buy and forget it. It needs full sunlight. That's a plant like people believe it's a kind of succulent, and you need to water and all. No, it stores a lot of water into it leaves, so it's a family from succulent. You should put that to full sunlight and water every 2 to 3 days, not more than that. Like twice or thrice in a week is more than enough to water it. If you're over watering, your plant will die, and if you're under watering, then also your plant will die. To know if you are over watering, it will become soggy and the leaves will fall off. If you see the leaves wrinkle and falling off, means you are under watering. So put them in full sunlight and they'll thrive to the fullest. I'll show you my plant also over here, so you can see it's getting full sunlight, and I have a big bush of jade over here. One is over here and one more I have it over here. See, it gets like full sunlight from 11 to almost 3 4 o'clock, so it's thriving very well.
Coming to next question from Priyata. So she her Echeveria and jade plant are dying, and she waters them very less, but she's not able to understand what is causing them to die.
See, they all are part of succulents. So, are you giving them full sunlight to thrive? If no, put them to full sunlight, and I think they should survive. There's no other reason because they're very low maintenance, easy care plants, and they'll thrive. They'll thrive very easily in full sunlight. Water twice and twice to thrice, and give full sunlight to them. No misting and no watering over the leaves. That is again a main tip or trick you say as the main trick for all the succulents.
Great. So coming to next question, what care should be given to the plants in a week? What are the general care tips? This question coming from Wrinkle Shah.
General basic things is just like, toil your soil a little once in a week, remove all spent flowers, remove all dry leaves or yellowing leaves. Dry leaves doesn't mean always that you're doing something wrong with the plants. It's like it's nature. Leaves will dry slowly and steadily. New leaves come up. So it's like, you have to remove all those dead leaves and all that, and you can instead of just throwing off all those dead leaves or fallen leaves and spent flowers and all that, you can just dry them and start making compost of it. So that is basic things. Once in a week, some of the other kind of fertilizer I would suggest, like, you either spray or you either give liquid fertilizer or some compost or cow dung, neem cake once in a week and in very little quantity. Because, like, and keep a schedule. Don't give the same food every time, the same fertilizer every time. Do we like to eat the same kind of food? No, we don't, right? We need varieties. Even the plants need varieties. If you like, once in a month, you just prepare the whole schedule. Week one, you'll give cow dung. Week two, you'll give and some neem cake, and then onion peel fertilizer and all these things. So you can just like, make your schedule and accordingly give fertilizers. These are weekly things that you need to take care of. And if any at all any plants need some pruning and trimming or pinching and all that, I'm going to come on those topics also. So you need to do all those things once in a week.
So let's take one question and then we can move with the workshop. If then we will take the rest of the questions. So
Yeah, sure.
question from Sonal: which urea should be used for rose flowers, and what she can do for make her tulsi plant survive? It is not surviving.
Okay. Coming to your rose plant first, as I said, I don't use any kind of urea, DAP, NPK, and all those things. I don't use them. I use for my rose plants, I use strictly rice water. That is like, whenever every day morning when we wash rice and our dal and pulses and all those things, I just store that water and I give it to all my flowering plants. And coming to your tulsi, you need to give it full sunlight, water every alternate days. Again, depending upon the climate, if it's too hot, you can water it every day. And if it's not, like, in monsoons and in your winters and all, once in 2 days or 3 days is also fine. It depends. As I said, it depends upon the climate. And the main thing is pinching. Tulsi plant needs a lot of pinching, and you should even remove a pinch of the managers on that. And one more thing that I don't know, I'm not hurting anybody's sentiments, sorry for that, but most of the people, they use incense sticks for tulsi, I mean the अगरबत्तीज. तो वो अगरबत्ती जब आप कोई भी प्लांट के नजदीक लेके जाते हैं, you keep it there over a period of time. This is again a tip for everybody. Please be careful. तुलसी के पास अगरबत्ती रखोगे, फिर देयर इज अ सेइंग के इन आवर हिंदूज देयर इज अ सेइंग कि नहीं, तुलसी घर चली गई। तुलसी घर ऐसे नहीं चली जाती है। इट इज लाइक बिकॉज ऑफ द इट्स नॉट एबल टू सस्टेन द इंसेंस स्टिक्स, द smoke coming out of the incense sticks, and plant dies. This is my personal experience and experiment. The tulsi plant, which you don't keep the incense stick, it thrives very nicely. And where you put the incense sticks and agarbatti and all, it will die very fast. So try on this.
Yeah, so we'll take keep. I'll request participants to keep asking the questions. We'll take some questions after 10 to 15 minutes. So,
Yeah.
Rinaji, up to you.
Okay. Now, as someone asked me about weekly maintenance and all that, yeah, weekly maintenance, आपको pinching वगैरह करना बहुत जरूरी है. Pinching is you just pinch off अब ऊपर का एक 1 इंच जितना पोर्शन, काफी जो नॉर्मल आपके प्लांट्स है, छोटे छोटे प्लांट्स है, उसका टॉप का एक ऊपर का 1 इंच का हिस्सा आप उसको कट कर दीजिए. जस्ट पिंच इट ऑफ विथ योर फिंगर टिप्स. आपको उसको कटिंग वगैरह करने की जरूरत नहीं. इट इज वाई बिकॉज इट विल थ्राइव मोर. अगर आप उसको कट करते रहेंगे, लाइक आई हैव माई 4 o'clock प्लांट ओवर हियर. This plant, I at times I just keep on पिंचिंग फ्रॉम टॉप. तो वो क्या होता है, वो ज्यादा बुशी हो जाता है, लाइक योर कोलस प्लांट्स वगैरह. तो ये जो फॉलेज प्लांट्स या कुछ ऐसे शो प्लांट्स वगैरह रहते हैं, आपको उसको ऊपर से पिंच करते रहना है टू मेक इट मोर बुशियर. लाइक योर चिली प्लांट ऑल्सो, दो आई एम नॉट मोर इनटू वेजिटेबल गार्डनिंग, बट देन एक दो ऐसे प्लांट्स है मेरे पास. इवन योर चिली प्लांट, एक बार उसको फ्लावरिंग आ जाए, थोड़े चिलीज आ जाए, तो उसको ऊपर से पिंच कर दीजिए. व्हेन यू पिंच इट, इट विल हैव मोर branches and it will have more flowers and fruits, the same. जो भी आपके फ्लावरिंग प्लांट्स है, एक बार उनको ऊपर से पिंच करते रहिए हर 15 दिन, महीने में एक बार. बट एट द सेम टाइम सी कि वो उसका फ्लावरिंग सीजन ना हो. हर एक प्लांट का एक फ्लावरिंग सीजन रहता है. नॉर्मली वी बिलीव कि मॉनसून में ही नए प्लांट्स लाते हैं एंड अच्छे से ग्रो कर जाते हैं, अच्छे से जम जाते हैं एंड ऑल दैट. It's not like that always. Monsoons hai, summers hai, winters hai, they have their own plants every year. Few are annual plants and few plants are very perennial. तो seasonal. तो ये perennial और seasonal plants को सेग्रीगेट करके जो भी आपके पेरिनियल प्लांट्स है उनको पिंच करते रहिए, तो वो और फैलता रहेगा और बुशी रहेगा. जैसे अभी हिबिस्कस वगैरह के लिए इट्स अ फ्लावरिंग सीजन. तो अभी उसको आप पिंच नहीं कर सकते. जब इसका फ्लावरिंग सीजन थोड़ा चला जाता है, थोड़ा विंटर सीजन या ऐसे ठंडे जैसा मौसम हो जाता है, तभी उनको ऊपर से 5-6 इंच, जो बड़े थोड़े प्लांट्स है जैसे रोज है, हिबिस्कस है, ऐसे प्लांट्स को ऊपर से 5-6 इंच आप कट कर दीजिए. जब भी इनको कट करेंगे तो उसको और बुशी होने का चांस मिलेगा. अदरवाइज पूरा प्लांट का जो एनर्जी है, उसका जो न्यूट्रिशन है, पूरा उसमें ही चला जाएगा उसको लंबा करने के लिए, और वो जल्दी फ्लावर नहीं करेगा. मैनी पीपल दे कंप्लेन मेरा प्लांट तो बहुत बड़ा हो रहा है बट उसको फ्लावरिंग नहीं आ रही. तो एट टाइम्स इट इज नेसेसरी कि आप ऊपर से उसको कट कर दीजिए, थोड़ा ट्रिम कीजिए या प्रून कीजिए उसको. और प्रूनिंग में भी सॉफ्ट एंड हार्ड प्रूनिंग रहती है. व्हेन देयर इज नो फ्लावरिंग सीजन ऑफ द फ्लावरिंग प्लांट्स, उसको हार्ड प्रून कीजिए. जब फ्लावरिंग सीजन है तभी स्पेंट फ्लावर्स के बाद उसको सॉफ्ट प्रूनिंग कीजिए. तो इट इज going to thrive more better and it will have more flowers. And these days at times it is really sad for a person like me to understand कि लोग बहुत सारे केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर्स देते रहते हैं प्लांट्स को. तो बहुत सारा फ्लावरिंग होता है. नर्सरी फेलो दे कीप ऑन टेम्पटिंग यू. आप मैडम ये ले लीजिए, देखिए आपको 12 महीने फ्लावर आएंगे. आप वो करिए तो आपको 12 महीने फूल आएंगे. ऐसा कीजिए, वैसा कीजिए, ये डालिए, वो डालिए. वाई आपको एज ए ह्यूमन कोई ऐसा इंजेक्शन मिल जाए ऐसे कि एक इंजेक्शन में आप सीधा 18 महीने से 18 साल के हो जाएंगे. इज इट पॉसिबल? Is it your body going to react nicely? No. The same as with the plants. Treat them as good living beings, your friends, your babies, your family members. तो इतना सारा केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर्स मत दीजिए उनको कि वो जल्दी एजिंग करना शुरू कर दे. Like, when you give a lot of fertilizers, chemical fertilizers and all that, yeah, initially for 2-3 years it will thrive very nicely. आप बहुत खुश हो जाएंगे, पर वो 2-3 साल के बाद वो प्लांट मर जाएगा. सो इट्स ऑलवेज बेटर स्लोली आप उसको रोज मीन्स ध्यान रखिए, हफ्ते में 1-2 बार उसको जहाँ जरूरत है पिंचिंग ट्रिमिंग वो सब कीजिए, एंड देन इट्स going to give you more better fruits and for longer period. This is like, I would suggest these kind of things to my audience and my friends over here. I say, yeah, Jitendra.
So let's take some questions.
Yes.
Okay, so question coming from Meena. How she can use cow dung in her garden?
See, using cow dung or neem cake, you get them from a good place where it's like, been stored nicely. क्योंकि काफी बार क्या होता है उसमें भी इंसेक्ट्स वगैरह लग जाते हैं, तो वो प्लांट्स को लगते हैं जब आप उसको यूज करते हैं. तो व्हेन यू गेट द काउ डंग केक्स एंड ऑल दैट और द मैन्योर, यू हैव टू सोक दैट ओवरनाइट. उसको अच्छे से सोक कीजिए, नेक्स्ट डे उसको स्ट्रेन करके डाइल्यूट करके दीजिए. कोई भी चीज डायरेक्टली मत दीजिए, बिकॉज द प्लांट विल डाई, इट विल बर्न एंड इट विल डाई. तो काउडंग को हमेशा, काउडंग हो या नीम केक हो, उनको हमेशा लाइए, सोक कीजिए, एंड देन स्ट्रेन एंड यूज इट. वेरी इजी.
Great. So question coming from Khyati. Her poinsettia plants are not getting leaves. So what she should do? I hope I pronouncing it right.
या एक्चुअली पॉइंसेटिया आर लाइक अभी उसका डोमेंट सीजन चल रहा है ख्याति, सो मे बी दैट इज वन ऑफ द रीजन. उसको बहुत कम वाटरिंग कीजिए, लाइक वंस इन 2-3 days वाटरिंग इज फाइन विद दैट. अभी उसको धीरे धीरे वापस लीव्स आना शुरू होंगे. इन विंटर्स में उसके जो रेड लीव्स है वापस आएंगे. इफ यू फील कि विंटर के स्टार्ट में भी रेड लीव्स आना शुरू नहीं हुए हैं, so don't water it for 4-5 days. Keep it in a dark place, and then you get it into a bright light, and slowly you'll see that usme red leaves ana like shuru ho gaye. Those are basically red leaves, which we feel as if they are flowers, but they are leaves. So this happens because of the stress. This is again one tip over here to all my audience here. आपके कुछ ऐसे अगर plants है जो लंबे टाइम से फ्लावरिंग वगैरह नहीं कर रहे हैं, in spite of using all your fertilizers and all that also, you stress them. थोड़ा उनको स्ट्रेस में रखिए, 3-4 दिन 5 दिन उनको वाटरिंग मत कीजिए, बट कीप देम अगेन इन अ कूल क्लाइमेट. कूल क्लाइमेट मीन्स एसी वगैरह में नहीं, बट देन जहाँ पे उसको बहुत धूप वगैरह ना लगे, ताकि विदाउट वाटर इट कैन सर्वाइव फॉर 4-5 days. और उसको 4-5 दिन के बाद फिर धूप में लाइए, सेमी शेड एरिया, एंड देन टू फुल सन, and then you can start watering on 6th or 7th day. Your plant will start flowering, it will start showing buds and it will flower.
Right. So coming from question coming from Priyanka. So she has a sapling of adenium at home, and it is 4 by 3 foot big, and it gets very less sunlight in balcony. So what are the tips you can suggest to grow it properly?
The adenium is desert rose. It is called desert rose. So you can understand desert means full extreme sun. So if you are not getting good sunlight, Priyanka, I would suggest that you put your plant to extreme sunlit area. And if not, I think you shouldn't be trying more on adeniums because it needs full sunlight. And now in monsoons, again, it would be dormant season for that, and it will show new leaves and flower sometime in October heat that we call, like, during October, November. Post that it will start flowering, and so cold climates are not good for adeniums. It needs full sunlight.
question coming from Sangeeta. Her miniature Madhukamni plant is not flowering. So what she can do to get flowers?
See, as I said, you can try putting that into stress, but at times we have experienced that miniature plants or dwarf plants that we get, like, and they are available these days into market. At times they find it difficult to bloom and flower. Like, initially they use a lot of chemicals and all that to show us or show the customer and attract the customer to buy the plant, but then miniatures at times, yeah, they do give problems. So try doing the stress therapy, and I hope it starts flowering.
Coming to next question from Meru. So she's asking which pots to use for these plants. Is it plastic, metal, terracotta, concrete, or grow bags?
See, the best is the normal pots that we have. Mitti ke gamle are the best. But if not, the second option I would suggest is grow bags. Rest, like, the plastic pots are very much in use these days. They are very, like, they come into very attractive shapes and colors and everything. So it depends upon your area. At times, people, if they have very less space, and then they go for plastic pots and all that. But the best I would suggest is your mitti ke gamle.
Coming to next question. Um, so Harshvardhan has some chrysanthemum seeds, and he wants to grow these seeds. So he would like to know how to sow these seeds and how to take care of the plant for chrysanthemum.
See, the seeds to grow them, it's like, really, I feel that to grow a plant from a seed is like giving birth to your own baby, like, so you need good soil initially for any of the plants. Like, if you are putting the seeds, the soil mixture should be good. It should be well drained, and more of cocoa peat and perlite and all compost and all those things initially, and with very less soil. And you can just, like, put a gap of 1 or 2 inches between two seeds, and you can sow them. And when the seedlings come slowly, and eventually when it starts with the seedlings and all, at least let the plant grow to 8-10 leaves, that is at least 5-6 inches or more, little more. And then you can plan to repot to a better pot, and which shouldn't be too big. Like, कोई भी आप जो सीड से प्लांट ग्रो करते हैं उसको धीरे 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 छोटे से बड़े बड़े गमले में ट्रांसफर कीजिए. अगर वो सीडलिंग को आप इमिजिएटली बड़े पॉट में डाल देंगे तो वो स्पेस और उसमें जो वाटर स्टोर रहता है, इट बिकम्स टू मच फॉर द प्लांट टू सर्वाइव एंड इट विल डाई. अब काफी बार ऐसा हो जाता है, लाइक, मेनी ऑफ माई कस्टमर्स दे से कि मैडम मैंने सीड से ट्राई किया पर ऐसा हो गया, मेरा मर गया, ऐसा हुआ, अच्छे से ग्रो हो गया था, 7-8 इंच जितना बड़ा हो गया, और फिर मैंने रिपोर्ट किया, मर गया. बट द रीजन इज, इफ यू रिपोर्ट दैट इमीडिएटली टू बिगर पॉट, लाइक, इन द साइज, तो वो हो जाते हैं. ऑलवेज गो 1 or 2 inches बिगर पॉट, एंड देन यू कैन, लाइक, कीप ट्रांसफरिंग till it becomes a mature plant. So this is how we can grow any of the seeds, not only mums, you can grow any of the seeds in this way. And again, this is a dormant season for mums. अभी जो double petal वाले आते हैं mums, उनका season है, but the original mums, the season is sometime in winters, not now.
And Harsh, one tip we always give to our customers, participants, that do not try to germinate all the seeds in one go. Do it
Yes,
in batches so that you can test your soil, you can test your climate.
yes,
Okay, so in case the climate or the soil is not favorable, you will not lose all the seeds. You can always try it in a different method. So,
yes.
question coming from Anchet, he's saying that his plants are getting some kind of pest which is eating the roots. So, what he can do to get rid of this pest out of the soil?
See, first thing that you need to check your soil. If it is like, too muddy, too clay, like, sticky kind of a soil and it holds the water, it rots the root. Maybe that is the main reason for root rotting. Otherwise, like, you need good drainage, say, soil and all that. And I think the plant should survive. So try changing the soil. It will help to grow your plants more better, and always add some sand or perlite or cinder and all those things which can drain your water very fast. So try doing changing your soil.
Okay. Coming to next question from Vibha. She is saying that her lemon plant is 3 years old, but it is not giving any fruits.
Okay, so for lemon plant, like, you can try hard pruning it. At times it is observed like, it grows to a very big bush, but then it does not start fruiting and all. So do hard pruning and give some onion peel and banana peel fertilizers and all, and I'm sure it will start flowering and it will give good fruits.
Question coming from Priyata. So she has a spider plant, and the main plant is dying, but and drying, but the baby plant is green and healthy. So should she separate the baby plant, and how to take care of it further?
Yes. Yes. See, spider plants, they need a lot of humidity. You need to keep them in such area where there's a lot of moisture and humidity. And if you don't have too many plants, one tip over here is like, take a tray, put some pebbles on that or some normal stones on that, add some water, which should not touch your pot, but then keep such pots in those trays so that it keeps on getting moisture and humidity over there. So spider plants, and if there are too many pups, like, and you haven't removed them, like, over a period of time when they are a little bigger, quite to put repot to other pots, and you haven't cut them, what happens is the mother plant will keep on giving its all nutrients and energy to the pups to grow. So at times it dies. The mother plant dies and the pups stay alive. So better you cut all the pups and repot into new pots, and you have your plant saved.
Coming to next question from Kajal. Please suggest some low maintenance indoor plants.
Low maintenance indoor plants are all varieties of philodendrons, all varieties of pothos that I did show you at the start of the session, like, a few of my pothos and philodendrons and monster and all those. Then we have sansevierias, we have ZZ plants, we have caladiums, aglaonemas, your few varieties of palms. These are all very low maintenance. Like, you just plant them, water them twice or thrice in a week as per the requirement and weather at your place, and they grow very well. But they all need good well lit area, bright lit area. And if you don't have those bright lit areas, at least once in a week, get those plants. Like, this exercise should be followed. Get all those indoor plants and keep for a day or two, keep them in full sun. Like full sun, I mean, like, in bright area where there is some sunlight and all, because if they don't get sunlight at all or some bright light at all, photosynthesis won't happen good, and eventually over a period of time the indoor plants also start dying. So I would suggest go for these plants and get them out. If you don't have a nice bright area, get them out every week.
Vibha, should I take more questions, or you want to cover some topic?
You can go for one or two more questions, and then I'll have my last concluding part.
Okay. Okay. So, question from Wrinkle. She's asking that her tulsi plant is the leaves are curling. So, what she can do? And another question is how she can grow lemongrass and what take what care she need to take of this?
For lemongrass. Okay. See, for tulsi, as I said, for curly leaves, you can spray buttermilk on that. Like, store buttermilk for 4 5 days in some copper vessel, then strain and dilute, and you spray that on your tulsi plant. Like, it should be very dilute water. Otherwise, it is very, again, a delicate plant and it will burn. So, that is going to help your tulsi plant thrive good. And for your lemongrass, it needs full sunlight. Tulsi also needs good sunlight to grow. Less water to both the plants and full sunlight for them to thrive nicely. This is these are least maintenance plants. You don't need to care too much for them.
Okay. Uh,
Okay.
Another question is, what about rain lily? How they can take care of rain lily if it is not flowering?
Rain lily, you need to put them in full sunlight. They need full sunlight, and they need rain showers. And if you're not getting rain showers and only full sunlight, get some rainwater, just some place, get it, fill it into some bucket, and pour it to your rain lilies because they are rain lilies and they need rainwater to bloom in full sunlight. Water it only twice or thrice in a week. Otherwise, the bulbs will rot. Overwatering is going to rot your bulbs. That's the best care. Again, a low maintenance plant.
Okay. So coming to the next question, uh, what pots should we use for succulents?
For succulents, you need small pots. It depends upon the size of your succulent. Go for very small pots because you don't need a lot of soil, which can hold a lot of water and all. So, mix of soil, perlite, coco peat, and compost. That should be the ideal soil. And put your succulent in that. Pot, as I said, should be small, and you can use a ceramic or plastic pot. Just the drainage should be good. It shouldn't be holding water. And to water your succulents, at times you can just like water them from the pot from the downside. Like you just fill water in a tray, put the pot for a minute in that, and remove it. So that's going to help your succulent stay for more longer. And don't go for too big pots, otherwise the succulent will die.
Okay, so we have three more questions, so we'll take them quickly. Uh, question from a question from Shushmita. So she has a rose plant, and she uh, can't find any pest on the plant, but the buds are somehow getting distorted, and the flower it blooms is not in good shape. So what she can do?
That shows that your plant has lack of nutrition. You need to give it some good fertilizer, like you start giving wash rice water or dilute water of aloe vera juice and all. That will you will come out of you'll get rid of this problem. Your buds will start blooming. It's lack of nutrition.
Question from Ishita. So she is asking: is continuous rainwater is good for plants?
No, it's not always good. Your delicate plants cannot sustain a lot of rainwater. You should have a good draining soil for that. That is for sure. If your pots by mistake also it does not have good draining soil, then your plants will start rotting. Your hardy plants can sustain rainwater continuously, like your big plants like rose, hibiscus, your champas, chamelies, they can sustain rainwater. Our Indian, many of our Indian plants and all, but your delicate, ornamental, and your foliage plants, they cannot sustain a lot of rainwater continuously.
Question from Sirisha. So she's asking what should be the soil for jade plant, and if we need to add something, what should be the ratios of those things?
You can have 25% of your normal soil, and you can have the rest part, like 75%. You can add your compost. Your This is my experience. I'm not going with some specific ratios and all that. I go for a mixture of perlite. Like as I said, jade is also a part of succulent. So all succulents, I make a mixture of perlite, cinder. I put cocoa peat and with soil, little soil. The soil portion is very minimal. Rest is the main portion. So I use this proportion for my all my succulents because it should be well drained. It should not be holding a lot of water, otherwise it will rot the plants.
Okay, question coming from Ankit. Please tell about amaryllis bulb. Uh, I had them from last 2 years, but didn't get any flower. So what and how can I increase the size of the bulb?
You need to repot it every season. You need to remove, any of these lilies after the flowering season. Or as he said that he does not, it does not flower only, but then during winters they dry off, the leaves also they dry off. So you have to, after the leaves dry off, you have to remove the bulb out of the soil, and you just repot it with the new soil and with some good compost and all that. So it will start, showing the buds. You need to repot. If you don't repot your lilies, they won't grow, they won't flower. So every year to year you have to do that.
Great. So question coming from Smita. Uh, she is asking what to do if our rose plant is not flowering.
This is, see, the monsoons is a perfect season. So you can just hard prune your rose plant, and I'm sure it will start throwing new shoots. Give rice water and onion peel and banana peel water every 15 days, and it will start giving flowers. Hard prune that. This is the right time.
Then there is question about magic potion you mentioned in the workshop. So what is the recipe and how to make it at home?
Yeah, I'll just show you. This is my magic potion. My friends and garden gurus, they've given named this as magic potion. And this is mixture of, I usually, every day we have our onion peels, garlic peels, ginger peels. Like at times you have your chilies that have turned red and you're not going to use them and all. So I dump all those things in this container that I'm showing you. This container, it's airtight. So I just dump everything over here. All my when I wash my rice and all that, I put little water in this, and if not, then I use regular water. I soak them for 10 days. Next 5 days I'll not touch it, no adding of new peels and no water and nothing. 5 days I allow them to rest, and on 15 16 day I'll dilute and use it for all my plants. That is my magic potion. This name was and this was for me, it was just banana and onion peel and all water. But my friends and garden gurus, they gave it a name. They named it. So I put all my cucumber, potato, ginger, garlic, onion, banana, and chili, all these things into this. That's my recipe.
Great. So question from Ruhin. She's saying my rubber plant is not showing any growth. So what she can do?
Rubber plant needs a little kind of humid climate, if it is too much dry area and all that, then it will not grow very nice. The other thing is few plants like croton, fiddle leaf, rubber plant. These are such plants they don't like frequent change of place. They are such plants who wants to stay at one place, please don't bother me, kind of like they are happy in their own space. So if we are changing the space, like यहाँ पे grow नहीं कर रहा है, यहाँ पे कम धूप है, वहाँ ज्यादा धूप में रखो, this that, if you keep on experimenting with the space, like the area, then it will not grow good. So keep it stable at a bright area with little humidity, and it will grow good.
Coming to next question. So Mila is asking, any tips for water plants?
Water plants, you need to change the water once in a week, and in that also you can add little of this magic potion if you want, or your rice wash water in that, and it will grow good. There, what kind of specific, if you have any name, then I can help you more better. I have water cabbage, and I have water bamboo. So these are plants, like they grow good in your change of water, good water. That's it. Like water plants, they don't need too much of attention.
Okay, so we'll take last one question from Sirisha. So Sirisha earlier asked us about soil mixture for jade. Um, so she's asking that you said we should include coco peat for jade and succulents, but that holds water. So please clarify, should we add sand or not?
Yeah, you can add sand also. And coco peat, I'm saying it because, like, if you add coco peat, I understand that it holds water, but that again, that helps, like, you have to water your succulents only once in a week. So your watering time period is lessened over here. So that's why I use coco peat, because, like, I keep on traveling a lot and all at times, like here and there. So I use coco peat in such plants where I don't want rest of the people to come and water when someone, in my absence, when someone else is watering my plants. So I don't want someone to spoil them and all. So such plants which are very delicate, I add a little coco peat. So once in a week, also if I water them, it's going to be good for them. It will not harm the plant. The plant won't die. So that's why I use coco peat in that. Rest perlite and cinder, they are well drained, so it's going to drain out the water very fast.
Okay, so Reena, we are still getting questions, so I will request all the participants that we are doing workshops every week, and most likely we'll be getting Reena again for another workshop. So do join us on YouTube, subscribe our channel to uh, get the get the notification of this workshop. And I have dropped the link to Reena's Instagram channel, so you can always connect with her
Always
on
connect
that
with my Insta
channel.
page, and I'll answer your queries. I'll try my level best to answer your queries, and this how I can be connected with you all.
Yeah, so Reena, over to you. Any closing comments?
Love your plants a lot, like your own babies. Pamper them, don't over pamper them, but then pamper them. Keep pruning, trimming, pinching, and caring for your plants. Good soil mixture is really needed. And on this World Environment Day, I really request from the bottom of my heart to everybody to turn yourself into organic gardening. Please. That's my humble request to everybody. So please try. And anytime you need any help for any kind of organic fertilizer, pesticides, I'm here to help you all. Any kind of setups and all, I'll help you. I have my own, I have turned to a profession of gardening, setups and everything. So I'll try my level best to help you all. Thank you, everybody.
So thank you, Reena, on behalf of Affordable Organic Store and all the participants. And everyone is complimenting that planter at the back. It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
So, and there are a lot of thank you messages for you, and a lot of uh, complimenting messages for your garden. So
Obliged.
we love
My
it.
dear, I'm really obliged with your response and your love for me and my plants. Love my babies. Give positive vibes to my babies. My babies, my plants.
So thank you, Rina. We'll stop this stream
I
in 10 seconds.
I thank the Affordable Organic to give me this platform and reach to all my viewers. I really thank everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jitendra.